I was talking to somebody and they told me they love my couch talk.
Your couch talk? That's what they call the podcast?
They call the podcast the couch talk.
Let's bring that. That should be the name of this episode, Couch Talk.
Couch? Yo, that's a very good idea. Let's roll it. Okay, couch talk.
Run with it.
Couch talk. You know, I'm starting to love this more and more and more every single time that we do it. It's like a never-ending conversation that we like kind of already have every single day. And now it's just like documented. Like we can actually look back on this and be like, we had this conversation. It's on live. We have 7-second clips to show like the conversation that we had. Like, oh, I remember exactly what you were saying. Pull up the podcast clip. Oh, fantastic. You have it on the YouTube also? Let's get it on the YouTube also. Pull up the exact point that we were talking about and connect it exactly to like the issue that we're having during the day, or connect it to like a full circle moment like 2 months down the line. And I love that.
I just love the aspect of podcasting that it's almost like a meditation of sorts. When you get in the zone, you get in your own psyche and you just start spitting out these words. Where did that come from? You literally have no idea sometimes where these ideas and thoughts that you put together, how did I formulate this? How did this come out of my mouth? I never truly thought about it like that until I put it into those words. And this is just the means by which we do it. It's so interesting.
I didn't even know this was possible, until, gosh. I realized that. I'm gonna mention it on this podcast. I say so much, and I only realize that because I'm watching these podcast clips so many times. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, that's a part of the process, the art of patience. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm trying to just be more patient with myself throughout this process, not beating myself up for those type of things, whether I'm saying the same words 800 times because I don't know how to just maintain the flow yet. And that's just like a part of the process. I'm just getting accustomed to it.
Well, I also think that these filler words that we use are translating from our regular day-to-day speech, but we don't pick up that we're saying like, exactly, and whatnot in between every sentence. But then you have the headphones on and you're watching yourself back and you're, oh my God, I talk like that? Like, I talk like that? And it almost opens your eyes up to like, this is how other people perceive me, because you don't perceive yourself how other people perceive you most of the time.
Yeah, I love how that works. I love that because, I mean, you don't really think much about this type of stuff during the week, or not during the week. I mean, in life in general, you can go your whole life. Oh wow, that just got loud. You can go your whole life and just completely live in a perspective of self, where you're not worrying about what other people think about you, which is fantastic. You're not worrying about the words that you say, and like the pros and cons of that, like show now. You know what I mean? Like kind of showing that to yourself brings out a sense in me where I appreciate, I think, a lot more.
Appreciate life? What do you appreciate more?
What do you mean by that?
Like you said, you appreciate. Like what follows that?
Oh, I just appreciate I'm just straight up the process. Mm-hmm. I just love the process of constantly learning from things that I do, where it could be as stupid as messing up a screen print on a hoodie to like the words that we're saying in this podcast, and that's what I love. Truth.
Mm-hmm. It's all a learning endeavor, and the what I put on the being account a lot, or not a lot, but I write it in my journal, and I've just kind of been putting it everywhere, is create, love, grow. Those three things, because I feel those are the three principles that I want to embody every single day. If I can create something, if I can love something, and if I can grow as a person every single day, it's a successful day.
Mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished. Like, what else could I be doing, right? It's just playing this game of life, experiencing it. I hope I get to experience all of the fruits. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And like I was speaking to a rabbi of mine like a month ago, and we were talking about like what is like the actual purpose? Like what's our purpose here? And he goes, "I'll give you one word." Guess what that was?
What?
Growth.
Growth. Mm.
You should constantly be growing every day. Like that's when you live a life of just like a flat line, It's just, where are you going? That's like you're dead. When you're only experiencing downfalls, you have to grow. You're kind of forced. Like, you go down to a certain point, you hit rock bottom. Like, that's just inevitable. Whether, like, God forbid, it's, I don't even want to say it, but like there's levels that you get to that people don't even want to speak about. And then you could go to like highs where you're so emotionally present, and you get the vibes that are insanely euphoric and everything. And I love that flow, and I love that growth pattern. And without it, like, you're just a flatline. You're just kind of like dead. Like, what are you doing? If you're in a constant state of doing something to an extent where there's no pattern, there's no growth flow. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just explaining the same point, just a little bit more. I'm trying to get the point across, but I think I got it across, right?
Mm-hmm. Like, the motion, the chaotic nature of life is what makes it so beautiful, in a sense. Is like the growth. It doesn't need to be an upwards trajectory the whole time. It can be up and down and left and right in every which way possible. But at the end of the day, as long as the last moment is never going to be the same as the next. Each moment is individual. Each moment is wholly unique in nature. And I think that's what makes life itself so beautiful, is that there really is no goal of life, in my opinion, right? The goal of life is just living. You're alive, happy to be born and happy to die eventually, but we're here now, right? And it's a dance. So I like to think of it as there's no direction of life. There's no way that everybody should be going. There's no right or wrong, and it's just you move how you feel. You go with the flow, you go with the rhythm, with the beat, and that's all life is. Like, if you want to go on vacation one week, go. If you want to go to work and you want to go do a painting when you get home, like, go do it. Go do what you're drawn to, what you're pulled to.
Right, so basically just flowing with the motion.
Exactly. Just allowing the pull of life to pull you wherever it takes you. Now, obviously, that doesn't mean just let life take you away and go do drugs and do stuff that's not going to benefit you. But I'm saying, just let go. Let go to your expectations, your attachments to life, your attachments to these things that you hold so closely, your attachments to the ideas you have about yourself, who you think you are. You start letting those things go, and you start to see how life opens up. Because if you have this narrow mind about who you think you are, like, we surf, we wake up, there's waves. It says 3+ tomorrow in New Jersey, beautiful New Jersey, 3+ feet on the waves and nice west wind. Look at us, we're surfing, right? We wake up in the morning, we're surfers. That's what we're embodying. That's our label that we're assigning to ourselves. And I realized one day I was walking on the beach, and I didn't have my surfboard. It was sunset, and I'm looking at the waves. Similar situation, like really good waves. I'm like, oh, I wish I was out there. I wish I was out there. And then I'm like, but look at all these other people enjoying these waves. Like, I'm causing my own suffering by putting this label on myself, saying I'm a surfer. I'm making myself suffer by saying I wish I was out there, rather than saying, look at, here I am walking on this beautiful beach, watching a sunset in Asbury Park with all those other beautiful souls out in the water enjoying their own experience.
Perspective.
Exactly.
They hit the nail on the head. Wow. That's exactly what I was thinking about today. I walk outside and I look at a tree, and my tree there's no leaves on it. It's the winter. But in the summer, I saw a video 2 minutes before I saw the tree, and it was green and gorgeous and like voluptuous with leaves and everything, and I die for that. And I walk outside, whip out my phone, instant TikTok. I said, this is perspective right here. You see the tree right behind me? You could choose to call this a tree that is ugly and malnourished, and there's no leaves on it, and it's dead. Or you can think about the perspective that you get to see the tree in all the different forms, and you get to see the tree when there's green, luscious, beautiful leaves, and then you get to see it through the fall with the gorgeous colors. You get to see all of these things, and I got the privilege to see the tree before all of that happened. And I was just like, when you just said that, I was just so connected to it. That was like insane. I love that you said that. Thank you for saying that.
I'm glad I said it. I think that's one of the most important lessons that I've embodied on this whole self-growth journey is these labels that I assign to myself, these attachments that I have. And when the number one thing that I've been doing for the last 2 years, I would say, year and a half really, is taking my awareness and putting it in my heart. Taking my awareness and really focusing and putting it in my heart so I can feel my own emotions. So I'm in touch with my own self, my true self. I'm not drawn by the material world, these desires and attachments and these things. Obviously, I still am connected to this 3D world. That's what we live in.
You're human.
Exactly. We're all human. And we're all going to have these aversions, you might want to say, that take you out of yourself, right? Like sexual urges, the desire to eat, like the desire to drink water. Like we're only human. But when you can really start putting your awareness in yourself and psychoanalyzing yourself almost, like seeing how your decisions affect you later, seeing how your emotions cause different states of being within you to arise, seeing how your perceptions of the world change your state of being.
Yeah, and I think a very big part that it stems from is like the questions that we tend to ask ourselves. Like if you ask yourself an empowering question, that empowers you, hence the empowering. But if you ask yourself a question with a negative to it, you're going to get a negative answer, because no matter what type of question you're asking, you are going to get an answer. You ask yourself, how old am I? 20, 19, however old you are. You ask yourself, where am I going? How am I feeling? You'll get an answer regardless. So I find personally that when I ask myself questions such as, how can I make this work? How can I do this to benefit me? How can I do this so that other person feels better about themselves? Rather than asking the question with a negative connotation to it, why do I deserve this? Why am I being struck with this hardship? Why do I deserve, why? And you ask yourself the negative questions, and then you sit and wonder, why do I have a negative mindset? It's all about the questions. Do you want to have a positive mindset? Do you want to have something that's going to destroy your mental health, destroy your well-being, destroy every ounce of who you are? Because I mean, the more that you ask, the more that you look, and the more that you look, the more that you find, and the more that you find, the more that you understand. And the more that you understand, the more that you become the person that you end up being.
Yes. Yes.
Exactly.
It's all about the self-talk. People don't take it for granted what you're talking about, the questions, asking yourself. How do you frame these questions? How do you talk to yourself? I talk to myself in third person. I don't talk to myself in first person anymore, because when I say I am angry, I am discontent, I am in pain, I am becoming those things. But when I talk to myself almost in a third person sense of, how's Cory's day going? How is Cory feeling right now? You start to disassociate yourself almost from those emotions. It's a trip.
I've never looked at it that way.
It's a trip.
Fascinating.
Yes. I mean, obviously, I still have a sense of self where I say I am, but I frame my questions differently, and you frame them positively with positive intent behind them, because the questions that you ask yourself either set you up for success or they set you up for failure.
Full blown. I never even thought about asking myself these questions, that perspective. I'm thinking about it on a personal level right now. Like, how can I apply that to my life? Because I tend to just ask a question like, are we doing this the right way? Are we doing that the right way? But I mean, third person perspective is another level. That's really tapping into like your sense of self. That's really tapping into what you're constantly feeling and what makes sense on an external level, rather than like just the selfish point of view, because you're thinking about yourself as another person almost.
Yeah. We get caught up in our own delusions and illusions of the world. Like, we forget that other people have their own perspective, their own perceptions. You forget how many other eyes there are. Like, you say I, and you aren't. When I say I'm not thinking about the 8 billion other people on the planet. Forget about all the animals. Like you're not thinking about that. There's a whole lot of I on this planet. And if we start turning that into us, you start seeing the world as you see yourself. You start to develop a love for yourself. You start to develop a love for the world at the same time.
On a love for world, are you ready for summer to come? I'm stuck in the present, but I'm just thinking about summer. I'm thinking about like what that comes with, how we're gonna go into it, like how everything shifts from with the season. At least like we're here in, like you say, beautiful New Jersey, right? But I think about the summer with a sense of excitement, because every season has that excitement, and summer comes with its own spice. Winter has the cold, it has the warm weather. You get the layers, you bundle up, you feel nice and cozy, you get focused for sure. But I look at summer with the perspective of really seeing what you're able to take. It's a test almost. Like, are you gonna maintain the focus that you work so hard on in the winter, or are you gonna allow that to almost disintegrate? And this is something I was thinking about, and it's why I'm bringing this up. Because, I mean, it's only like, what, 3 months away?
Just about.
What's your experiences with summer pertaining to the way that you live your life and the way that you with your growth journey? Because I've only known you for a couple months.
Summer has been a little bit different for me. I think this summer is going to be much different than the summers in the past, especially considering I'm not going to be lifeguarding this year. So my life kind of has revolved around the beach in the summer for the last couple of years. But I think that's going to be a shift this year. I don't believe I'm lifeguarding again. I think I'm going to have a real job. I'm graduating college. It's going to be not even real. I'm going to be working for myself. So I'm going to be making money for myself, still be at the beach every day, but not getting paid by somebody else to do it, just doing it for myself. But go ahead.
I was like, what do you think that's going to feel like in comparison?
I think that when I graduate, there's going to be a sense of freedom and just a weight lifted off my shoulders almost, because I think that these commitments that I've made for myself, I've had so many commitments, that long-term commitments that are going to end right now. So since football ended for me, like that was one long-term commitment, and it ended, and it's like, wow, like I'm free right now. I have the capacity to do this. I have the capacity to make my videos that I want to make. I have the capacity to play as much guitar as I want. And then I think when school ends, it's like, whoa, I have the freedom to go out and make money how I please, spend my time how I please. I'm not obligated to go to any classes. I'm not obligated to live here. I can explore the true depth of my being. If I want to go move to Indonesia on the other side of the world, I can move to Indonesia. If I want to stay in New Jersey and work for Netflix, like I could do that. I could do whatever I want, and I think that's so like almost empowering.
So on that, like what was your perspective? I'm going to restart this. Hold on. 3, 2, 1, go. So coming from like college, right? I've never gone to college, but you went in freshman year with what mindset? You went in with no idea what you were doing. You went in with going for marketing. Like, what'd you go for, and what was that type of change until now? Because it seems like from like our conversations in our day-to-day that throughout time you've rapidly shifted in a positive manner, changing the way that you view the world, changing the way that you view yourself, changing the way that you view your hobbies and your things that you just you love. Like now you're into videography. I mean, I know you've always been into that kind of thing, but like what type of change was that for you, and what are you feeling now in comparison to what you were feeling when you first went into college, besides for the kind of like locked up feeling?
I think the biggest thing that truly changed for me was the sense of gratitude that I have for the things that I do. Because I've always done these things for my whole life. I've surfed and I've skied all my life. I only started playing guitar freshman year of college, but I've been a creative person. I've drawn and I've made videos all growing up. But I think the appreciation for the fact that I have the capacity to do these things, and I have a family that supports me, and I'm at a good school, and I'm in a good location, and I have all these things that allow me to go create, love, and grow every single day. I think that's the biggest transformation that I've had. And I knew what I wanted to do when I got into college. I knew what I wanted to do when I was looking at schools. I wanted to make videos. I wanted to make films. I wanted to do that. And I think I got to college and I kind of lost myself a little bit when I first got there. There's so many options. Like, I could do this, or I could do this, I could do this. And my brain just started going all these different ways. And I kind of just found myself, and I've known what I wanted to do for years and years at this point, and I just kind of forgot. And so now I know that I just want to make videos. I want to share my art with the world, like whatever art form that I believe that I can translate my ideas, my thoughts into, my imagination into. That's how I'm going to get it out. And
whatever it may be, right?
Exactly. Like, I love making music. I love doing podcasting. I love making cinematic videos. I love making drawings and graphic design. I like doing it all. I don't want to limit myself. I don't want to focus on one thing. I wrote in my journal yesterday. It's like, what are you going to do after college? I was just thinking, what am I going to do after college? Wrote in all caps, everything.
Wow.
Like,
dude, I went to Israel for a year after I went to high school, and I ended up leaving after 2-3 months. It got made fun of by everyone, by the way, FYI. Shout out to all you guys that made fun of me. And I got back, and there was a bunch of things on my mind. It was kind of like I went to college, because while I was there, I was creating content on TikTok. I was just tapping into my creative self. I never knew I was a creative individual. I always thought that all I could do is ABC. I didn't know that I was an artist. I didn't know that I was drawn to this type of stuff. And I start creating the videos, and the day I get back to America, I was talking about all these things before in Israel, saying, I got to come back. It's not for me. I got to come back. The day I come back to America, oh my gosh, I'm mixing up this story, but it's way better. Okay, the day I got back to America was like the first start. I got a new iPhone. I said I'm going to invest in myself. I'll just finish this up quick because whatever. I got a new iPhone. I started making content, and I said I will do this, and I did it. And I blew myself up on TikTok, and I made really good vlogs, and I got good at it, and I understood how to use the camera, and I learned all that stuff. But the story that I was talking about was when I quit my job in March. I believed in myself. I was writing down. You said everything. I'm gonna do everything. So my friend asked me after I said, all right, I'm about to quit my job and do derm full time. He asked me, so now that you're quitting your job, what are you gonna do? I said, I'm gonna do everything I said I was gonna do. And then I wish I had that like on camera, because I could just roll the clip. I just put my mind to it, bro. I just hustled, and I sat down in my bedroom for 20 hours in a day, and I just grinded and figured it out, no matter how hard it was, and no matter how hard it is still now. And like, you've seen like the beginning part of this process, just like before we kind of like settled in a little bit more over here. Like, you helped me unload everything. I went from a basement carrying things back and forth and left and right, and like, that's why I'm so excited for you, because I'm stoked to see the version of you that's so dedicated to making it work in this crazy world that we're living in because it's so possible, and you know it's possible, and you already started your journey from before you even you're still in school. Like, this is just, you're just about to freaking blow the world up with everything that you have stuck inside of you, that everything is about to come out.
I blew the world up already. People just haven't seen it yet.
Exactly. I love you. I love you. Yo. So glad we met, man.
Dude, it is crazy how it just... there's something about you. It seems like you just meet people in weird situations. People just seem to find you, right? And our friend Choice, the one who, the model, you kind of just happen to stumble into him, right?
I'm sitting in my Jeep in the middle of the summer at a job that I shouldn't have been working at because I should have been working on this company. And some random little kid says something very weird, and I go, what? And then he looks at me, he's like, yeah, what did he just say? And then all of a sudden, we're just friends. It's exactly what you said. Just random occurrences that just lead up to this, which I don't believe is so random.
I don't think that there's any such thing as a coincidence.
No way.
I think that a better word is synchronicity.
I don't know. I'm a very, very religious dude in like Judaism. So I believe like wholeheartedly every single thing that happens comes from Hashem. Like every single thing, like me and you meeting comes from Hashem.
Yeah.
I don't know what synchronicity means. Maybe,
Synchronicity
can you explain that? Yeah.
Synchronicity meaning as in God, the universe, the higher power, whatever you want to believe in, ordained. It was bound to happen because you put yourself into that reality, into that wavelength. Like you being the version of yourself that wants to change, wants to grow, is why we met, is why you met Choice, is why you met these other people that have come into your life, is why these things have happened to you that have been so beneficial for you, is because it's not that you're stumbling into these things. Like, no, like you're energetically attracting these things. You are magnetic. When you start believing that and you start putting all your awareness internally in here, everything else starts to attract there too. So like when you start when you start saying your affirmations, because I know you do your affirmations, right? What affirmations do you do?
It always changes. I don't have like a specific one, but I mean, like today, I'm gonna play that TikTok. Oh, I don't have my phone. I wanna play it though. I'm gonna play it from my iPad. It's me jumping on a couch, saying, I love myself, I love myself, I love myself, and I mean it, and I full blown just mean it. And then somebody commented, they're like, "Yo,
yelling affirmation." Oh, I did see it. I saw it. Yeah.
Listen, wait. Oh, I'm enough. Yeah, and I said, I'm going to punch you. You got to love yourself. I'm enough. I say that a lot. And I love myself. Well, I used to say I love myself a lot more when I didn't love myself. That's the truth. Now I say I'm enough. I say I'm enough. But not as often as I used to be honest. I don't say my affirmations as much as I used to because I've just gotten so busy. Maybe that's not right. Maybe I should have.
See, at first in my whole journey of going within, spiritual awakening, self-growth journey, whatever you want to call it, I found the affirmations in the beginning, and it was like, oh my goodness, like, I am abundant, whatever these things that I could say, and they made me feel good inside, warm and fuzzy, and I was like, this is cool. I say this stuff, and somehow I see it work in the external world, like, cool, I'll do that, and then I kind of fell away from it, and I was like, like that's kind of just whatever. I don't need to do that. The Crystal Girls can do that, and then in the last couple months, really, I've found myself in my journal every day. In the summer during football camp, I found myself sitting there writing entire pages, a full page in my journal. I am, whole page, like the entire thing. And you finish a page, you're like, oh my God, like I am.
I've never done that before.
And
that is deep.
It's like the reason I think I did it is because when I was younger, I used to get in trouble. I was a bit of a mischievous child, you know. I used to get in trouble a lot, and whenever I got in trouble, my parents used to make me write things. Like, okay, I will not chew with my mouth open at the dinner table 100 times. Write it 100 times so you remember. And I guess that stuck with me, and I kept doing that. But just the concept of I am, that's the that's my idea of affirmation is I am, and then whatever follows, you become it. So if I'm in my journal, like I'm writing this morning, I'm writing I am radiant, I am abundant, I am magnetic, I am attractive, I am wealthy. I'm saying these things with strong conviction. I'm writing them in all caps and with all of my belief and intent behind it, because I know that that's going to attract those things into my life. I know that by me believing that, I become that version of me.
Exactly. Like what you believe is what you become. Like I made that video again today. I'm just spitting on TikTok, bro. I'm just going off. Every single thought that comes into my head, it's kind of like Twitter. I feel something, I say it. I obviously, like, there's got to be like some kind of guard on it, but if I'm feeling that emotional intensity for something that I feel can help myself first and then help other people second, I put it into perspective that, okay, I'm going to put it out there. You can benefit from it. But in reality, I'm looking just talking to myself. That's true.
It's a video journal.
Straight up. That's my Instagram's called My Digital Archive. Straight up. You go through my stories, secret's about to be exposed. If you go through my stories on Instagram, it says like V1, I think, or 1, 2, 3 or something. And it shows like my progress from like back in 7th or 8th grade when I'm like trying different side hustles, and I run like a hype brand, not a hype brand, a hype account where I'm reselling shoes, Hype Sales 1, if anyone remembers that, like shout out to you. And then it shows my car washing business, shows all the progress I'm making, shows me working in the city, it shows my growth journey through my stories on Instagram. So cool how it's in 3 little dots, and I can look at it, and I do look at it. I look at it to remind myself, like, you've came a long way, man. You're not where you're going to be in a week from now. You're not where you're going to be in a month from now. But you are constantly growing, and you have to remind yourself that you are doing a good job. You are doing a good job. You have the reminders right in front of you. Take it easy on yourself. Take a chill pill. Have some patience. And move on, you know? And that's why I love my Instagram so much.
That's awesome. I love the fact that our generation is going to be able to go back and see their childhood, their college years, their young adult life. I'm gonna have a digital archive of my entire life.
Good name, huh?
Great name. I like that. I'm gonna steal that from you.
Go for it.
But like, I realized this not too long ago too, is like me and my friends have been taking videos of us skiing together, mostly just skiing. Me and my buddies who I ski with, we've been taking videos of ourselves skiing since we've been 11 years old. I'm 21. That's 10 years of videos that we have just been taking of each other and making all these edits and funny memories and whatnot, and they're all on video. Like, you could probably find most of them on YouTube. And I think that's going to be so interesting when we're 60 years old, 70 years old. It's like, let's go back on my old YouTube and scroll back down to 2016 and go see me doing flips off the jumps at Jack Frost, Pennsylvania. Like, that concept is honestly crazy to me.
No, that's wild. That's wild. I think about that sometimes too. How like, we just have an unlimited amount of information. I wonder if we'll lose it though. Like, I wonder if there'll be so many videos that we just won't be able to find them. Because, like, think about it like this. Every single day, I know it's highly unlikely, but every single day there are millions and millions of things being uploaded on social media. On your phone, not so many. Let's say you post something on YouTube. Like, what's to say that in 20 years, I mean, they have videos on there from like 10, 12, 13 years ago now. How long has YouTube been around? I don't know.
2008? Or no, 2008 is like big launch. 2005 was when it first started. Fun fact about YouTube is It's slipping my mind actually. I did a whole paper on it. The way it started was quite interesting. It was
Remember Charlie Bit Me?
It was that was one of the first videos to blow up. The first video on YouTube was me at the zoo. The guy who made YouTube was him at the zoo, just recording himself with the animals.
Really?
But yeah, it was in 2005, and it's coming back to me. It was supposed to be like a dating site.
Really?
Yeah, and
Just for people to like post videos of themselves?
I guess, yeah. But it was, and then it transitioned to be a video sharing site. So if I wanted to send you a video, I would post it on YouTube, and only you would be able to see it. But YouTube was like the middleman of that transaction of you being able to see the video, and then it transitioned into the global network that it is now.
Wow. I feel like the first couple videos kind of set the tone for YouTube for such a long time. And then did YouTube start trends? Did that start? Think about it.
I feel like television probably started trends.
Really? I don't know. I'll tell you why I think that. Think about the Charlie Bit Me video. You know how many people tried recreating that vibe that child gave off? Ouch, Charlie! Just freaking like I've seen so many videos right after that video. I saw so many people reacting and trying to give off the exact same vibe of that person. And then from there, you had the people that first got on YouTube, and then the people who just started vlogging, and then boom, 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 domino effect. I mean, television is kind of just it's just a flow. There's not that many channels. There in I don't know when television came out, but I know 20 years ago there was only like 10 channels. 30 years ago. There's 10 channels or something.
Nah, television's been out for quite some time now.
Yeah, but okay, I got to look that up. That's a good thing to look up.
Mm-hmm.
How many channels were there? Because I know this is like not so personal development connected, but this is just something that's very interesting, and I just want to, okay, category. Television channels and stations established in 2000. No, it doesn't say. Oh, but there's a lot. I was incredibly wrong. Okay, that's why I wanted to look it up, because, I mean, stuff like that. But I feel like the trends, maybe I'm just fully wrong. I'm okay with that. I guess I'm just fully wrong. That was a very good point you brought up. Very good point. Television probably started trends.
I guess I'll say I'm right on this one, or we'll figure it out one day.
But I mean, the domino effect. Yeah, I mean, one day we'll figure it out. But the domino effect is wild. Like how you can go from one point in life to knocking down one domino in the right direction or the wrong direction. I'm pretty sure we spoke about this in the previous podcast.
The compounding decisions.
Yeah, the compounding decisions are wild. And sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just worried about that.
There you go.
No, the compounding decisions are insane. You can get into an intense flow with that where you almost don't know how far it's going, and then you can look back and it's like a crazy meditation. Like for me to get this photography studio running, I tipped one domino. I don't know. Yeah, I walked into the studio one day, and with the flip of a switch, I was like, Cory, Mustafa, pull up right now. We're taking everything out of the room that we're sitting in right now. We're taking it all out. I made that one decision, and you were like, yo, I don't know. Like, what are you doing?
Well, I came in, and you were just running around the office, and you were all juiced up, running around the office, like super high energy. I was a little, not in a bad mood, but like not energetic that morning. Had my coffee in my hand, and you're like, all right, grab the couch. I'm like, dude, what is going on right now? And you're like pulling dressers across, like pulling across the hardwood floor. But
wasn't that move wild?
Yeah, no, it was quick. I mean, I like it in here now, though.
And what are you thinking about, like, writing on the walls? I don't know. Like, I don't know.
I like the white over here.
Me too.
I think we could use... honestly, I think that if we wrote on these walls and left the back one white, I think that might look cool.
Yeah.
I think if we just started putting all our favorite quotes and whatnot on these walls, ones that we come up with. I don't want to copy other people. I want this to be like original, you know?
You Are the Sun in a Cloudy World by Cory Englehardt.
Look at me. I used to say that. I used to say that a lot. I still say it, honestly.
Oh, that's really cool. I thought that was a rainbow at first. Wow, I really thought that was a rainbow at first. That is incredibly creative, Cory. You drew... Okay, I'm going to try and illustrate this for the people who are listening. It's a circle, and the circle is not a full circle because there are clouds drawn on top of the circle. And then he made it look like
it looks like the
around
partly
it.
cloudy sign on weather.
Yeah, no, literally exactly like the partly cloudy the partly cloudy. It's like a tongue twister almost. But yeah, no, that's really cool, dude.
See,
I agree with that.
That's a fun thing that could bring us into a totally different subject. But the
who cares?
The inspiration in creating, right? So like something I've found that's kind of interesting is you can use something that is not related at all as inspiration for one thing. An example.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, if you pulled up, you're reading a book, Awaken the Giant Within. You're reading that book by Anthony Robbins, by Tony Robbins. He's the man. Shout out Tony Robbins.
Yeah.
But you're reading that book, and immediately after you're done reading, oh my goodness, I got such a good idea. You got a quote in your head, and then you start doing a graphic, and you make a whole graphic, and it's empowering, and it's telling you that you're enough. It's telling you that you are the best version of yourself, and you sit back and you're like, wow, that's good. And what you didn't put together is that book inspired you to make that. So the words that he had inspired a graphic. Or, okay, I'm looking at a painting, or I'm at a museum, I'm seeing these different
paintings,
different whatever. Sculptures, doesn't matter. Exhibits. That's the word I was looking for. And then you get done at the museum, and you go home and you write a song. But it's not about the museum. It just stemmed from the inspiration that you drew from those paintings at the museum. All those colors. Somehow I synthesized colors. Wow.
Yeah, like the art of patience. Not I was saying the art of patience. I'm thinking about like what was the word we were using? I just said the art of patience by accident. I lost the word. Inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is wild. The fact that our brains are our brains are a phenomenon in itself, but the fact that we're able to like just look at something, like let's say that tree behind you, and I'm able to look at it, take the shape of it, the colors of it, and then I could just
write a poem about it.
Hell yeah. I could write a book about it. I could code a website because I looked at it.
Green and mean, trunk is lean. Look at that.
Oh, you just made that up?
Just made it up.
No way. Yeah, but that's crazy. I love the brain.
It's so much fun. It's so much fun. Like, would you want to have any different brain? Like, that sounds kind of crazy. That sounds kind of crazy. But like, I wouldn't rather have any other brain. Like, I like my brain a lot.
I like my brain a lot too. I would hope so.
I would hope so. Yeah, like that's the whole. But
Let's
you get comfortable in our own brains.
Yo, brain talk. How you doing? But I try and comprehend this. This is incomprehensible. Your brain is a mouse now. You can't even understand what that means. Isn't it weird to not be able to comprehend something?
Yeah.
Like you can never ever understand what it feels like. What it feels like in a conscious form. What it feels like to have the brain of a mouse, just because you've never had it.
Or to have your brain.
That too.
Like in other people, you can't understand how somebody else is perceiving the world either.
Yeah.
That's a whole other perspective on it.
And that's why social media is so dangerous, because you can. I'll give an example. There could be 3 people in a chat. Okay, maybe even 10 people, and one person writes in the chat something. Let's say they wanna make a party. They wanna donate something to a party. Let's say they want to donate a bottle of vodka, and they say, I want to donate a bottle of vodka. And people can take that 8 different ways. You can take that in 16 different ways by yourself. Now there's 20 people in the chat, and everybody's thinking, oh, he wants to donate a bottle of vodka? What does he think? We don't have the money to pay for vodka ourselves? Oh, what is it? This guy, oh, he's so kind. Oh, he wants to donate. Every single person has a completely different version of how that could be so. And I'll give a little bit more of an understandable perspective, just so we can. I just want to post this on TikTok. I'm just gonna be straight up. You post a video, and let's say our podcast example right now, a clip of our podcast, we could post 7 seconds, put it out to the world, and 800,000 people could view the video. Each one of those people can view it in a different way.
And they will.
And it's scary. It's exhilarating. It's phenomenal. It's every single adjective you could ever think about, but it's also very dangerous. Because the way that people perceive things on social media, if they're taken in a negative connotation, can lead to detrimental effects. It can lead to bullying. It can lead to mental health issues. It can lead to nasty comments. People just leaving disgusting things on a page on somebody who may not even deserve it. Like, I've seen videos of innocent people, like, so simple. They're just putting themselves out there. Finally, like, they get the courage to just, like, make a cool video, and it gets completely taken out of context, and they just get shambled in the comments, completely shambled, that they come on, and because of how shambled they got, they have the courage to show up crying and say, you guys, you broke me. I put myself on social media, and every single one of, like, not every single one, obviously, but so many of you, thousands of you, took what I was saying out of context and took my video out of context, whether that be I was just playing with my brother or I was just doing this or that, and you destroyed my mental health. You destroyed the way that I perceive myself. You destroyed the way that I go about living right now, at least for the time being. And it's just so, I get worried thinking about this type of stuff, because yes, there's restrictions. Yes, we could do certain things about it, but I mean, the mind is so powerful, and there's no way that a human will ever be able to structure a artificial intelligence platform to comprehend the brain the way that the brain comprehends different things, the way that the brain comprehends different motions and facial expressions in different manners. Like, I don't know if I'm explaining this correctly. I'm trying my best, but it's frightening, to say the least. And I'm a little concerned for the generation and how this will affect them if taken too far. If there's one thing that goes wrong in the next 20 years with all of the social media that's going out, with all of the artificial intelligence being put out, if there's one thing that messes with the human brain in a way that can be detrimental to the way that we all perceive each other and the way that we all go about our lives, I'm afraid of that, and I'm just going to admit it straight up. What do you think?
I think that we don't even understand how technology has influenced our brains and how it will influence our brains.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have the capacity to go back in time and see how humans interacted and how humans behaved before we had these supercomputers in our hands and pockets at all times during the day. And we can't go in the future and see what that future is going to look like when some people have chips in their brain and they're listening to music with no earbuds in. It's just streaming right into their brain, and
so
you can download languages into your own head. And we don't have the capacity to understand these things. But I think what's most important is what you were talking about, is perception and how other people perceive things and how you perceive the world. And a big part of perception is judgment. And we've talked about judgment before, and how we are conditioned to judge. I've been trained for 21 years on this planet Earth to judge everything. Oh, that's safe. That's unsafe. That's good. That's bad. This is evil. That's pure. We put these labels on everything, and we don't see it for how it is.
Mm-hmm.
We've completely tainted our worldview by putting these labels on it that we've just subconsciously, automatically put on the world. We put these labels on everything. And if we take a step back and we really go within and see how we're perceiving the world, seeing the labels that we're putting on everything, I think we find a much more peaceful, more harmonious world. One where maybe we're not concerned about what others are saying at us on social media, where we're not concerned how our family is going to perceive us if we go chase our dreams, how we're not concerned about, is this truly the safest thing I could be doing? Or am I just doing it because I think I want to? Like, just making decisions based on pure, true intention and will, rather than how it's going to be perceived by the world. Doing it for you rather than for other people. Changing the lens and the intent behind your own actions.
That's a very good way to look at it. I like that. I like that a lot. You're tapping into a place that I never thought about. Like you, common theme of tonight. But yeah, I feel a lot more content with what you just said. I'm glad you brought that up. But with that being said, I think we're running out of time tonight.
Yeah, I think we got not much time. A little bit of time. Let me just say one more thing.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
about that perception, right? The labels and whatnot. And some people say it's objectivity, seeing the world objectively, how it is. But it's not an objective worldview. It's equanimity, not being tied to one thing, accepting and loving whatever happens.
Right. And it's also about whether you choose to put that label on it or not.
Exactly.
So if you choose to make that what it is, if you choose to make that a negative thing, are you going to assign a negative meaning to it, or are you going to assign a positive meaning to it? I love what you said. I couldn't have said it. I couldn't have said it better myself.
And I think the world is moving to a place where there's a lot of people genuinely focusing on their own growth and genuinely focusing on changing their perceptions of the world. And it doesn't take 8 billion people to change the world. No. It takes 1% of that to have a self-growth transformation, to start becoming the best versions of themselves. And we're going to see the whole entire planet just awaken to the truth of what's going on and how our brains work and the divinity within us and how beautiful the world is, right? And
like what I send you today, what was that thing called? It's a new trend. You said you saw it on your For You page where people...
The core.
Yes. I just found that today. That is fascinating. I was so stoked when I saw that. Like, people are they're really with it. And that made me so happy for our generation. Like, as worried as I am with the worries that I do have, like, there's also that real sense of hope with like the people that are making a change, the people that are putting out positive content, the people that are showing like the raw form of like what our generation is. And it's Gen Z that's doing it, you know? I mean, they're honestly, as much hate as Gen Z gets,
we're going to be the generation that changed the world.
We're going to be the generation that changed the world. Like, we are the most educated generation in the world. We are the generation of growth and knowledge. We are the generation that we have the highest rates statistically for individuals younger, like Gen Z's under like what? It's under like 20 years old. I think no. Under
like 25.
Yeah, under 25, just about exactly. With personal development, like that, like personal development in itself separates so many different negative pathways that people can go down, like such as suicide, even though the suicide rates are in it of its own right now, but unfortunately, but like all of the negative aspects that have come to fruition for previous generations, I believe will slowly dissipate with the growth of our generation, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Where we are continually growing, we are continually doing better, continuously doing better, we are continuously looking to grow. And so many people, just like you and I, like average Joes, just 2 kids trying to change the world. And I really hope we could do that together. And I really hope that everybody who's listening to this doesn't take it with a grain of salt. You take it and you run with it. You change the world. You have every single power inside of you to do the things that you see other people doing. And there's no reason why you should think otherwise. There's no reason why you shouldn't get up and make an impact if you feel like you can, and if you feel like you should. Do it. Do what you love. Show it if you think it's going to help other people. Put yourself out there if you can. Just change the world one person at a time. That's all it takes.
You got the power.
That's all it takes.
You got the power. We all got the power.
We all got the power.
And that's all it is. That's all it is. Put your awareness in here, and that's
in there.
That's all it's about.
Yeah.
So,
but let's wrap this up.
Yes, sir.
Thank you everybody for listening. I really appreciate you all for checking us out. I want to say big thank you, by the way, Cory. Thank you very much. You're handling 1, 2, 3 cameras, the whole audio setup. You're a beast. You're a beast with it. I appreciate you for doing everything that you're doing, and I'm sure the people that are listening to this and viewing the clips on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, that, I'm sure they appreciate it as well. I've
gotten a lot of positive feedback back from a lot of people that I know, and I was unsure about how the feedback was going to be, how I was going to be received when I started posting all this on my personal. I mean, I've been posting on the Being account for some time, but our camera died over there just now, so we're gonna get going.
It's a sign.
All right.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you,
Joe Rogan.